Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Welcome to the session on 10-12-2022. So now, Collegium's final decision alone need to be in public domain, Supreme Court. So guys, Supreme Court Chief Justice plus age-wise, the next four Supreme Court judges, they will sit and decide who should be the Supreme Court judge and who should be the High Court judges. And during that, they will be having some consultations. They will be talking to each other, and that they don't want to be in the public domain. Finally, the names that we give should be there. Whatever we talk must not be there in the public domain. Supreme Court, tries to escape all sorts of accountability. Now, Supreme Court wants to know why demonetization happened, why, something happened within the RBI and government. Why didn't they tell to the public before? So these things they can ask, but no one should question Supreme Court. So that is what the law also says. No one has the right to question Supreme Court. Rain lashes Tamil Nadu coast as Mandus makes landfall. See, guys, whenever we talk about a cyclone, right? When we talk about a cyclone, let me take, you have India, and a cyclone is formed here. The central part of the cyclone is called as eye, and you'll have a cyclone like this. Now, when the wind blows, the cyclones start moving towards India from east to west. And when it comes here, the eye, when it comes onto the land, that is called as landfall. And wherever there is landfall, guys, please remember, wherever there is landfall, there will be more devastation, more rain. Everything increases. So Chennai is having landfall because of the eye entering onto the land. Congress struggles to reach consensus on Himachal Pradesh CM. The biggest problem with the opposition party is even when they win elections, when they can't keep their own MLAs together and giving party tickets to such people whom they don't trust, whether they will stay with us or not, purely on the basis of money, leads to certain problems which the entire world community is facing today. Everywhere, not only in India, in other parts also, Nepal, Sri Lanka. Yes. Expand the food security net without any more delay. See, guys, India launched National Food Security Act. Fine, National Food Security Act. According to National Food Security Act, they actually told that we will be giving rice, wheat, rice, wheat, and cereals for 3 rupees, 2 rupees, 1 rupee to almost 75% of rural India, 50% of urban India, which will be almost two-thirds of India. Which one? National Food Security Act. But unfortunately, the present government was not interested in this. But during COVID, the present government increased it and ensured it reaches to more number of people. So now the court has interfered and court has told that please try to implement the scheme effectively, and also try to come out with a formula so that you're not excluding more number of people. So the article is talking mostly about that, guys. The G20 can be UN Security Council alternative. This is a prediction where he is trying to argue that if G20 can resolve the problems of Russia Ukraine, especially when India is at the top, so then normally what is going to happen? G20 can become UN Security Council, because what is the role of United Nations Security Council? To resolve the disputes between the states. But UNSC is not in a position to do it because Russia is there. And if G20 can sit and discuss with these people, it sends a clear signal that yes, G20 can be an alternative. That's what they are trying to tell us. So, guys, there is a huge, again about elections in BJP, right? So, see here, completely election news. As I told you, whenever elections and all happens, things would be completely different. You see the way it is coming is east to west. The cyclone, see the way it's coming. It's turning to the right because of Coriolis force. Fine, Coriolis force has an impact. Yeah. So guys, Bhupendra Patel, how AAP helped BJP, AIMIM, MCD poll win, SP wants repoll, rise age bar for marriage of Muslim women. So it's actually, according to the government, it is 18 years, but personal law of Muslims say that it can be 15 years as well. So that's where the NCW is telling make it at least 18 years. Congress BJP clash over note ban. Center introduces bills to modify STs. Is recently few communities were included into the STs, and anything needs certain approval. So that's what is done. India China trade deficit is at 51.5 billion. This is government's response in the parliament. BJP member moves private bill on UCC in Rajya Sabha. Yes, Uniform Civil Code is back in news. What exactly do we understand by Uniform Civil Code? See, marriage in Hinduism is different from marriage in Christianity, marriage in Islam, marriage in Sikh, and many other communities. And there are certain things like, the way you marry is fine, but at least you should tell that who is marrying whom. There must be a record maintained, everything. And you cannot have more than one wife. You should not be in a position to, what you call as, divorce your wife at your will. So what happens in different communities, as they have different rules, it is very difficult for us to reduce it. So right from the beginning of the constitution itself, people were talking about uniform civil code. But today, when BJP and others talk about it, the opposition try to argue that it is trying to take away the rights of the Muslims. But here, people should understand that it is not only about what the BJP feels, but it is the constitution which has said that over a period of time, we should implement uniform civil code. So one side, like whenever constitution comes into picture, people support it, and when it doesn't, people don't. That is quite but natural. Even we also do the same because, in the personal laws as well, whichever law we like, we try to implement it. Whichever law we don't like, we don't try to implement. When something about religion comes into picture, women has to follow all the religious practices sincerely, whereas men need not follow anything. So that's how, the things will be. ILO declaration are just countries to ensure labor protection. Yes, ILO can be asked this year, where the entire aspect of ILO I'll try to cover. Supreme Court declines to pitch in on plea regarding religious processions. Not required, guys. Yeah. China prepares for huge COVID-19 surge. These people are again getting some trouble. Two top opposition party leaders arrested in Bangladesh. See, guys, in Bangladesh, there are two political parties. One is called as Awami League, another one is called as Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP. Now, Awami League is in power, and BNP, most of the leaders are in jail. So, Awami League is winning elections easily. But still, any leaders, if they are there in the top position, they are being arrested due to some or the other reasons which will make Sheikh Hasina to win elections easily, right? So India not as decoupled, still on a sticky path. China's absence as a shock observer for global economy is conspicuous this time. Adds private capital expenditure mostly missing due to global uncertainty and volatility. So normally, guys, anywhere in the world, private investment has reduced drastically, mainly because of the fear that, should we invest at this time? In what should we invest? What would be the returns? Is it better to keep the money the way it is? So there are certain things people are not still ready to take a risk because of the COVID implications and all. So guys, apart from the curved path of cyclone, they may ask you how exactly cyclone would move. So that is very, very important for the day. And the second most important thing is about UCC. Fine. So these two are important. Try to read about UCC in your polity. Thank you.